Hello everybody, what's going on? It's me, Teddy, back here with another software development class assignment. This is for my software installation and configuration class. Specifically, bear with me here. CEN-4802C. I do apologize, it's a mouthful, but I just want to make sure that, I'm clearly stating what this is for. Yeah, but we are going over my midterm assignment, which is essentially it. Basically, we are to walk you guys through the entire CI/CD pipeline and show you steps by integrating it already into a program or something we had already developed. Now, before we get started on what this program is, like what it does, and how I integrated the things we've learned over the semester, I need to rant for you for a second. The first time I did this, and this is the second attempt. The first attempt I went to go through this process to integrate a lot of these changes. I didn't start the project out as a Maven project. It was an IntelliJ project structure format. Trying to get that to translate well into a Maven project essentially broke the code for that project. So it killed my CC Candy Corner inventory management app. Luckily for me, I had access to the source files in which I was able to rebuild and recreate it. But for the sake of all that, we're just going to go ahead and use a much simpler program because there was a lot of work into that program. Apparently too much to, incorporate and move over to Maven. It got bloated with GitHub and everything. But good news is, as a result, I get to talk to you about Digimon. And another good news is that I found a program in which I could, in fact, easily incorporate Docker and Jenkins and Maven into the software that had already been created. Now, before we get started, I do have to cite myself because this is another program I created for my software development 2 class. So if you are watching this video, hello, Professor. I'm not stealing my own material. I'm citing myself. As you can see here, I do credit myself at the very top. All right. Now, that being said, let's go ahead and get into what we are going on, or what we've got going on here. Excuse me. If I'm a bit mushmouth, I'm a little excited. So basically, I developed this application in IntelliJ IDEA as a Maven project. Maven, basically what that is, it's a build automation tool that helps manage my program's structure, its dependencies, and basically how it's packaged once, it gets all packaged up. Let's see here. As another example, anytime you use Maven, you'll get a POM file, and you can set dependencies in it. For an example here, I set in the dependency of JUnit so we could have the testing capabilities with this program. I'll get to that a little bit later. Actually, let's go ahead and get into that. I could talk to you a little bit about what this test file does. So test file, or JUnit specifically, what they do is it runs the functionality of my program. And I've set up a few tests here. We got about 4 of them. We just want to make sure, one, that the user is able to see the display message as expected, which is the basic welcome to the digital world battle arena. It's just the message that everybody sees once the code is successfully compiled. That should be the first line that's displayed. All right, now the next tests here, we have 3 of them. They're basically the same test, and although they are a bit different in what they do, given the fact that one's an array, one's a linked list, and one's a hash table, I wanted to make sure that they were all able to successfully complete, the attack, if you will, or doing the array list, or doing the linked list attack, or the hash table attack. We just want to make sure that they're able to successfully complete a given task. So we ran these tests, and we're going to go ahead and run these right now to show you guys that they did in fact work correctly. And boom. As you can see here, these are our tests that we ran here. The welcome message passed really quickly. Vmon, Wormmon, and Patamon's their tasks ran as well. Just a quick refresher, just in case anybody's wondering what the heck a Digimon is and who these guys are. Digimon is short for Digimon Digital Monsters. They are very, very similar to Pokemon, although everything to do with Digimon is computer based. So in Pokemon, remember them as like the wild animals that you can explore throughout your world. So, like, the pigeons you may come across or the raccoons. Uh, that's how you would perceive Pokemon. Digimon is entirely digital, it's all computer or technology based. The kids, when they go to the digital world, are essentially stepping into the computer or an internet of connected devices. It's actually really cool. As a big tech nerd, I've grown connected to it over the years. So, they are known for various digital attacks, stuff like that. So that's why I chose to do this data battle using, code terminology here. So we got, an array list. It performs an array list for the user and displays it. Wormmon does a linked list, Patamon does a hash table. So I wanted to incorporate Digimon a little bit into this, midterm because of the fact that they're computer based and it fits really well with the theming. Um, Anyways, excuse me, as we can see here now, as I get, a little away from being choked up, as the code successfully completed all the tests. I'm pretty confident in how the code's running. It's looking good. Everything like compiles correctly. And we'll go ahead and get over to that in a brief moment here. But I do want to talk about GitHub and the integration of it into, everything that's been going on in version control. Specifically, each stage of this, as was implemented, the Digimon Data Battle Java, the test file, the Jenkins file, the Docker file, I've made sure to update each step of the way to GitHub. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go ahead and pull up my GitHub. And as you can see here, based off of the commits, you can see, made over an hour ago, I added the introduction dialogue to the battles, aka the welcome to the digital world, or the Digimon Battle Arena. I added tests for the main. You can see that was done about 50 minutes ago in terms of adding the test cases to my core code. So the Digimon Data Battle test.java. This is the initial commit. This is how long it was when I originally made the commit. I did copy the source code over from my Digimon Data Battle thing, so that's why that code is a bit disconnected. I did cite myself in it, so I'm not worried in that sense. But as you can see here, 19 minutes ago, I was able to add the Docker file. 24 minutes ago, I was able to add the Jenkins file, and then the test cases on the Palm was updated about 15 minutes ago when the tests were done. So as you can see here, that it has been successfully adding those changes history-wise. And then from there, every time I do a little push or commit to Java, Jenkins, I have set up right now. And this line of code, not only does it teach it that it's going to be using Maven as a tool, because the first time I did my Jenkins file, I didn't realize that it didn't put the Maven in there, and it was like, hey, we need this in there for it being a tool. So basically, this Jenkins is a setup to monitor my GitHub repository. So anytime I do a new commit, basically it automatically runs the build, so I can see if, hey, it tries to run it, and, maybe it's working on my machine, but I have to submit it to a professor, for example. I would need to send over the source code to them, and they would need to know basically how to recreate those steps. Well, if I can run in Jenkins and I can see that it's not working for them, but in my end, I'm able to, successfully do it from a local level, then that tells me maybe there are dependencies or steps that are missing on their end that maybe need to be done to actually make the software work, in which then I could tweak my README or tutorials or whatever to explain that a bit better, so maybe that situation is a bit covered a bit more. So we do have that in there, and I did run a Jenkins build already. As a matter of fact, I ran several of them because I was tweaking how they looked. And the first one, I did run a very simple test, and it gave me a very simple answer. And it successfully completed its build. I'm not going to scroll all the way through it, so we're just going to boop very much down to the bottom. And as you can see, it did successfully build that program. That was a very simple one, right? But I ran a second one here, and this is the one I had mentioned that it failed to understand that I needed Maven. And by they, I mean I failed to understand to include it in my code. But this test here, or this build, failed because of the fact that Maven was not put into the source code for the Jenkins file. But then I ran it on the third end here, and as you can see, it's successfully built. So I am confident also in, Jenkins integration into the system. Whew, I do apologize. I'm very flustered. The fact that the first version of this failed got me so hot and bothered that it broke my code that much. So I wanted to, just get it off of my chest that this version of version 2.0 of the midterm, if you will, has been, very nail biter to make sure everything's been running properly. So the final step here for, our CI/CD pipeline process here is we're going to go ahead and talk about Docker and our Docker file here. As you can see, we start with the base image that Java 17 has been installed. And basically, this is the final stage. This is going to containerize the application. Basically, the Docker files, like the blueprint from it. So basically, this file, it packages the Java application. It makes it lightweight, essentially only carrying like the essentials needed, not the over bloated stuff, if you will, the stuff that will essentially make any program bloat. It just takes strictly all the necessary components that's needed. So I've taken that and I've already run the Docker build for this program. So what I'm going to show you here is I'm just going to show you that it runs successfully. So we're going to type in Docker, and then we're going to type in run, and then we're going to do Digimon Battle. I'm going to let it run, and as you can see here, it successfully ran the Docker build. You can see Vmon doing his V headbutt array list attack. You can see that he won and he cleared all that data. Next, we go over to Wormmon, and we show how fast Wormmon cleans up their data. And specifically, I specified down to the millisecond how long it took to do these tasks as a formal requirement for the software development 2 class. We were tasked with showing how long each task took. That's why we have the milliseconds showing how long it took them in there. But as you can see, the data battle was complete as all of them successfully completed their tasks. And we are dumped back out to the main console for this project folder. That concludes my demonstration for the integrated software development pipeline using IntelliJ, Maven, JUnit, GitHub, Jenkins, and Docker. If you guys have any questions, let me know in the comments below. I'll go ahead and try to do my best to answer all of them with the best of my capacity. But you guys have a great day, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one.